again, you have to register for an account to be able to pretty much get this tiny MCE thing here. So it actually shows you a sample of how to use this. So all you need is a text area, and then you need this extender to really do this in the format. But we got our layout looking pretty nice here. Now we actually want to implement the save function. Here I actually did a post, but it does nothing because it really just all this really did was pretty much save it. And this upload image again does nothing too. And now let's work on the upload the image upload first. Okay, so to do that, we actually want to create another form. We'll create a div called dot upload profile image. Now this is going to be called by this button here that we created earlier. So the idea here is to pretty much toggle that toggle this div whenever that button is clicked, and then you want to go this. It's the ID. Never mind. And class equals modal fade. This allows the this particular dialog, this particular div to act as a dialog and fades out as you press that button. Tab index, it's -1, so we want it to be on top. So this would be the way to do it. Role equals dialog. Okay, and then Arial label by model label. Yeah. We want to set this to true because we want it to be initially hidden. Okay. Now finally, go that model dialog. Long. Then style. We want to set this to the width equal to. We want it to be big, right? Because we kind of want it to display a big dialog, even if we don't have an image in there. So let's set to 650 pixels. Okay. Okay, so we got the modal dialog here. So header. Okay, and then actually we want to do the content. And then do the modal header inside the content. And then after that, get better. And go H5. Title. D equals go label, and then we say right. So at this point, all we really have right now is this, right? So if I click on this, it actually pops up an image, pops up a modal dialog. Now you don't see anything here yet because we haven't really done anything, but yeah, that's pretty much what we're after right now. All right, so profile picture, all right, and then we want to put a button at the end here. So all right, and then class close, and then data dash dismiss equals modal, and then data label. So close. This basically spans it. Basically puts injects an empty space up until you get the button. All right, that's pretty much it. So this will create an X on the top there. So let's do that. Let's go back, revisit this page, continue. When I press upload image, you get the X here, and it just closes browser, closes the window. Yeah, that's pretty much it. For that, and that's the mobile content. That's a header. All right, so we can delete this. That modal body, right? Let me say image ID equals output image, and then go style equals max dash width. Again, we want to set it to 600 pixels. Then all right, and then that's all you want for the body, and then for the footer. All right. And we're going to do a file upload. So we want to input type equals file. Set images only. All right. So to specify the accept, you just do this on change preview Now, this preview image is going to be something that we're going to be doing later in JavaScript to manipulate this event, all right? So when we actually do an upload, we actually want to update our profile picture. And like that. Another button. Type equal button. More class equals and begin primary. Data dismiss equals modal. So save. So all we're really doing here is mocking a save action, but it's not really saving it because we don't really want to do a database update yet until we actually commit our saves. So that's what this and the idea of this thing is. All right. So now that I've done that, we can actually go back to our page. Okay. Try to see it. See how it changes. So we click on upload image, choose a file, right? So I choose this one, save, and that's what it does. All right. And it really doesn't do anything yet because we're not writing into the database. We haven't really do any of that stuff. We haven't done any of that stuff yet. So here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say in our scripts here, we're gonna say var id equals. Again, we're gonna use jQuery here to access our let's see our items on the page. So we got user ID here, right? Because I already have up there. Well, so this will grab the user ID, all right? And then when we click cancel, because the cancel button that we have on this page, right? When we click this, again, we use a shorthand, just like that. And then we can say window.location, and then we just go equals index.php. Then we can just go id equals plus id. Now don't confuse this with PHP where you have the dot operator. It doesn't work that way. All right. So this is JavaScript, pure JavaScript. Okay. So again, we have this preview image, right? So we're gonna so whenever we click on the button, we're gonna call this function. So we can go function preview image, right? And then we don't right? So then we can go var reader equals new file reader. Why are we doing this? Because we want to preview the image that we're loading in. Okay. So when you do a file reader, you just dot unload, right, equals function. You know, saying that when file reader loads, we're going to do this code here. And So we're going to grab the image location. Then let's do this. Upload image. File equals file picture. Just like that. Okay. And then as the image loads, we're just going to assign it to the result of that load. Results. And then we'll output that src equals reader.results. Just like that. And now this is output. Okay. And then we're just gonna go reader.read as data URL. And then it's just gonna go event target files. Because we're only loading one image, so we just have to grab the very first image of the array. Alright, so what does this do? Well, we're just going to do this. Let's see what happens. You upload an image, choose a file. What does that do? Alright. Nothing so far. What am I missing? Okay, we check to see why this is not working, right? Say, load the image. Did it get to here? Okay, so profile. Doesn't like that. Wonder why. We do it the JavaScript way. Element ID. Let's try this. Let's try that for the other one too. Let's try that again. You know, this should work. Oh, there we go. And go save. And you see, it changes the picture in the background here too. But you saw that it didn't fit, right? So we're missing something that make it not fit. So mobile dialog. Maybe it's a dialog itself that's not large enough. Modal document, modal content. That's what it is. Again, we gotta enhance this change here. And hopefully it works. Alright, so if we refresh this page, You see, it didn't persist the change because we never saved it to the database, right? So let's do that again. This way. Save, but we have to make the image max width 630. Let's go 630. Right. Oh, and refresh it. Choose file. Let's see if this goes all the way out. Just file again. All right, so that's, we can do this a little bit smaller. Let's do 620. All right. So as you can see, I actually changed both my my picture and my preview, but it doesn't really persist to the server. So in order to do that, we have to actually write to the database, the image to the database, as well as all these changes, of course, right? And to write all of that to the database. So let's do that. Let's write it all to the database. So how do you write it to the database? Well, you actually have the profile DAL here. You're gonna have to create some functions in here to do the writing. So in this case, we actually want to say function save profile picture, right? Now we're just gonna pass in a picture. Okay, so after we pass in a picture, we're gonna say SQL blank, right? If picture well now we go blank, right? So we're expecting picture to at least have something, right? Then we're gonna say profile ID equals this file ID profile. Keep in mind that we're working in the context of this being initialized already. And when we access this, we should access the current user that's already been loaded into our system. Equals update. Now you could use a straightforward thing like this when you use the prepare, right? So profile set, and then again we can go here. So SQL dot equals. Don't forget the dot because you're not gonna append it right if you do. Picture equal. And you can do this. And then just do that. Right? And then the profile, the user profile equals this, right? So just like that. Now, else return error invalid operation picture was fine. Just like that. Right, so we're checking to see if the picture's not empty. If it's empty, then we're going to return invalid. Otherwise, we're going to build our SQL query and then follow through afterwards. Okay, so cn equals this db new connection. So the statement was prepare dots statement. So find parameters. The first one will be string integer, and then we're just gonna inject that picture, and then we're gonna inject the profile ID. Wrap this inside if. I'm gonna say if it doesn't, if it's not that, then echo turn error parameter run failed. Right, and then we're gonna execute this. So if not, again, you need a not. Not. What? Term. Turn. Turn. execute failed. And we can see profile picture saves. Right. Okay, so this saves the profile picture. Now let's just adapt the same code to actually save all the profile. We can go Control D. Now in the profile, we're gonna need several things, right? We're gonna need first name, last name, middle name, date of birth, color, about, and active. Okay. So we go first name, last name, UOB. Okay. Alright, so profile will be like this. Right, user, first name, last name, middle name, date of birth, color, active, about, and then mode. Okay. And then we're just gonna write it out. SQL if user ID again, we're gonna do the switch between active is active equals right. So then we're gonna pass in a variable here called mode. Okay, so if mode equals edit, right? This means that it's an existing profile, right? Now we're gonna go profile ID equals that, and we're just gonna update the profile based on the ID, right? So we go again. We're gonna do the update profile here, and ID profile be down here. Okay. I'm going to do else if mode equals new, right? Then we're going to do this other stuff. Now, if the mode is not set at all, then we return that invalid operation. Mode was not defined. Okay, so how do we do this? Picture. So update profile set first name last name middle name dates of birth equals first and last name, date of birth, color equals and then about equals and then yeah, where profile ID profiles ID. Okay, so since we're that query, now because of this, we're gonna need two of these in here. So they're both different, right? So both of these are gonna be different. Okay. We're not gonna need this anymore. Okay. So, because there's so many parameters here, we're gonna say, well, the first one is a string, the second one is a string, the third one's a string, right? 1, 2, 3. The fourth was a string, the fifth was a string, the sixth was a string, and the seventh one is not a string. So the first one would be first name, last name, middle name. It's all right. Oh, it's the last name first. Last name, then middle name. Date of birth, then color, then about. Now we want to escape that all the slashes and about, right? So all we do is add slashes about, just like that. So we're binding these parameters, okay? Otherwise, binding the parameters fail, and then the execution. Okay, so the same can be done here, right? We just go copy this and then paste it into here. Keep in mind that we want to actually do an insert. So here we actually go insert to profile, user ID, first name, last name, middle name, date of birth, active, right? And then all we really want to do for the parameters is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, right? Values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Count the parameters up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 parameters. And then we don't need the where. Okay? So just like that. So we have 8 parameters. And then users. So the user ID. That's the user. Okay. And then first name, last name, middle name, date of birth, color, about, and profile ID, and then active. Wait, did we forget the active up here? Okay. Go active. And then we need just like that. Alright, so statement parameter bind, da-da-dum. It's active, and then the last one is the last one. Tip is end, isn't it? Okay, let's try that. Alright, so this will save it, save the profile, and this will save the picture. So we can't just do returns on here, right? We want to actually have something that we can say here. All right, so we can say here. Let's go here. We don't want to stop execution yet. Then say MSG. First, we're going to close the connection. We also want to close connection. So this DB close connection. That should do it. So, all right. So we're assigning all our outputs to the message, and we're going to return the message regardless of what it says. Right? That could be done here too. Right. So we need to do this here too, because we want to be able to say so we only want to say success if message actually succeeds, right? So DB. So I'm going to say this DB close connection return message. And then we're going to close it out. There's no issues. Okay, sounds good. All right, so after we do this, then we need to go back to the index.php page. Well, the edit profile. And we're going to do some post processing, right? So the very first thing you want to do is you want to use the extract method. Okay, so first thing you want to do is this. say if set post variable. Again, we're checking for the submit button. So the submit button is called save. If this is true, then we can actually go and say, yeah. Say, extract. Now we're extracting all the post variables here. Post, and then extr prefix same, and then post. Just like that. So now basically everything's transforms. Image name equals first name dot middle name dot last name. So directory equals the page dash config dash root dot profile pictures. That's it. Okay. File goes page picture profile image directory and image name. Save. Okay, so page itself is in this template. So this is the upload function that you have to implement to do the upload. So you got file name, directory, new name. Again, you're providing in the file name here, you're actually providing the profile image, which is located, which is what you are which is what this ID is, or this name is. All right, so you're submitting that name, so you have to grab that. All right, and then you save the profile picture. And so this second step, persist it to the database. And here we're just gonna grab the and we'll check to see if that result has an error. Right? And we'll set alert here equal to success. Okay. Otherwise, if position greater than 0, saying that if we have an error inside our return, we're going to override alert to equal learn. And finally, we display a default class here. Let's say it's going to display an alert message here and show that it's been saved. So alert equals alert new alert message. Now this alert type here will be overridden here. It switches between a good and bad alert, right? So we're gonna save it, and let's just persist this. Let's go like this. Okay, so if I upload an image, right, just say that. Now save it. You can see that undefined index profile image in 283. Profile image. Isn't that what it's called? So what does that mean? Well, it means that we didn't save it. It means we didn't find it, right? So 297. Can't find it. So where is it? Hmm. Interesting. Okay, so it won't upload it? What? Hmm. So if I go upload picture here, just like that, you should be able to see it. Okay, now it's loading it, right? Um, hmm. So I go to my pictures directory. Demo, profile, pictures. Should have these, right? Let's upload another one. Let's change this to 5. Upload image, choose file, kanji, and then if I do a save, yeah, there you go. It's popping up. All right, so it's actually doing this, and then if I do refresh, it's actually loading the right pictures. So if I go inspect, this is Kenji Mvu 5. All right, so it's uploading the image to the database, but the problem is that it's not refreshing. So in order to refresh your page, right, because it's not refreshing the data, so you need to refresh the page. And in order to do that, let's dive into this portion of it. So back here, let's say I want to go to my DAL, my data access layer. I want to say here that I want to have a function that actually refreshes my profile. And all this is going to do is it's going to re-query whatever's in profile and put it back into our profile. So again, we're just going to do this. We're going to go connect. Of course, we'll provide ID there, right? So we're going to connect to the database. Select stuff from profile where profile equals ID, and then assign it to the profile and close out the DB connection after we do that. And then we assign this we return this profile to whatever is calling it, right? So basically, what that's doing here then, when you go to the edit profile here, right? We'll actually do the edit profile. I'm gonna say, So keep in mind that I moved the form from the top here to here because it wasn't including the files. So you have to make sure that the form goes right, the end tag of the form goes right before the script tag here. That way, everything here is encompassed. And the reason I wasn't seeing our picture was because it was outside, was actually not loading not grabbing that array, that post array. Okay, so it wasn't part of the post. But of course, after you do that, then like I said, even if after you do all this, your picture is not loaded because because your profile is not being refreshed. So in order to refresh your profile, you simply do this. I'm going to do profile equals this. It's P refresh profile, the function that we just called. Just put ID into it, and that should do it. That should actually refresh whatever image you upload. So now we can go here and just do this. We can go upload image, choose an image, right? Choose whatever image we want. And save. we call this Lab7, right? So when we save this, oh, wait a minute. Hmm. So why did that break? Three. So there is PHP. So profile del, which was BSN profile. Let's try that again. Ah, there we go. All right, so I had the wrong 40. All right, so yeah, that's what you would do. Okay. Okay. So the next step would be to again do it again. Okay. So let's say we want to refresh the user. Well, let's pretty much do the same thing again. Right? We just do this, refresh user, and then we're just gonna do user. And this user equals user. That's pretty much it. The user, it's that, right? And then we could pretty much replicate all of these for right. So we can pretty much do this for everything. And then go back to our labs, our index, well, our edit profile here, right? And then we're not saving the profile information yet. So what needs to happen? So we have to save that information. So if it says post Friday phase, right? After this, okay, so we actually want to have a check up here. Before we do all this, let's say if that's the reason why we couldn't determine that files, right? Uh, Files profile image. I'm going to go through this whole process if this equals 0. Right, so this whole thing here should only run and do this outside of this, right? We want to do inside of this. Just like that. So this whole thing here actually goes inside here. Right? And then now we go into the profile stuff. So we only do this portion of this image. If not, then we're just going to save the profile. It goes P, save profile, just as you expected, and seed and everything. We put the mode into edit. Now, the insert we're not going to do in this iteration of the lab. The insert's going to happen afterwards. And then we'll say user equals refresh. User. Swap. Okay, so results. Again, we're going to check for the, just like we did up here. We can pretty much use the same code here to do what's necessary down here. Right, so do this, copy this, and paste it down here. We only need to refresh it if we saved, so we put it in here, just like that. And ideally, what would happen now is if I was to say change my last name to, let's save this, it should actually save it. So line 39, color. We'll file line 39. So where's our color? So the color Oh, we don't have a name. So here again, the 4, 5, and change this to red and save it. Active. Again, we need a name here. Remember what I said? If you don't have the name set, it's going to do this. Continue. Refresh this page. Okay, now we can change it. We can go this, red, save. Hmm. Save. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so where's my active? So active be up here. I'll save. Extract. Hmm. So I think it's active here. So why isn't it posting it? Interesting. That's weird. For active. Okay. Name is active. It's part of the form. Okay, so when I post this form, '84. It's not '84. Try that again. Mm. Mm. So it looks like our issue has to do with the binding of the statements here. It doesn't seem like MySQL likes, well, PHP the PHP binding likes the booleans. And since our field is a boolean, that's probably what's causing this issue. So I've gone ahead and pretty much did a whole different implementation of it, based on, so let's see. Hmm, there we go. All right, so we should be able to do this now. No issues, right? There we go. Well, that was more complicated than I thought it was. All right, so I'm gonna cancel all of this. But it didn't take me back. Take me back. All right, so edit profile. Now we need to put that cancel button in. Do I need to add slashes? Oh, I don't need to add slashes because this is already there. So what does that mean? In the profile DL, we don't need this anymore because it automatically does it for us. Just kind of interesting. So when you say save here, should be able to go in here and say, directly enter this. No, I don't have to do this anymore because it automatically does it for you. Now it's adding these extra slashes because I specifically told it to, right? But if I do this, I'll save that. Oh, jeez. There we go. Much better. Okay. So we've got it. Well, we got it working. All right. So this will save almost everything. Let's hope so. So it says save here. It'll persist it. Okay. All right. So now the cancel button. Why is that not working? What's this called? Okay, the cancel button down here. Cancel button. Cancel button. Dot click. The pound sign here. That's what it is. All right. So if I load this page, rock and roll. Da 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 dum. Cancel. It should go back to me. All right. Okay, now for the emails. So emails. User roles. All roles. Okay. So the email portion is pretty much exactly the same way, right? So what you want to do is you want to go in here to the edit email, okay? And then again, you want to include your del portion here, right? And this will be user roles, just like that. Again, you need to implement refresh emails in here. Okay, so you can just duplicate this, right? Refresh emails. And then you want to go and say from email where user ID equals, and then go get all. And this should email and email. So if you click on this, well, it should actually load it up just like that. Your email page should look exactly like this. You're going to implement the edit just like you did on the other one. A quick tutorial on how to get these buttons here. Again, it'll just be the same code that you would use to create your edit buttons, right? So essentially, let's go to the edit email here. So all I did here was I pretty much went to the card body, right? And then this is the profile on the left, right? Then you pretty much go in and build your table again. Okay, so when you build your table, you want to add this action item email. And then again, the class is FA pencil square for the edit. And the delete is FA trash, just like this. And then yeah, you want to create two functions in your JavaScript, edit email and delete email. What those do is those will open this dialog here, just like you did with the pictures. Right? So when you open this dialog here, you create an email field, a type dropdown, right? Then in your function new email, you would just create a you pretty much launch that window, and you're just pretty much setting all the default values to 0. Okay, it's default property. You check it to false, and then you just want to hide the buttons. And this is how you hide like the save email button, the save new email button, the save email. You want to show the save new email button. You want to hide the delete button. And that what that does is that toggles between these buttons right here. You can see that this is the same email, save and delete, and each of these do a different submission. Okay, so and then the edit itself, it's pretty much the same way. Now the edit actually goes and grabs the element IDs up here. So in your edit email dialog here, again, they're all using the same dialog. So each of these fields are defined by the IDs of those, and then you want to inject the field ID into each of these, each of the listing. Okay. So here I have a function called label, right? And in label, you have email, ID email type, and the email type here. And all I'm doing is I'm using a helper function. So I create a library folder here with helpers. And all this does is builds the label, okay, with this ID that you're passing in and the name of the object. Same with the checkbox, okay? So what this does is it creates an ID, creates a label with the ID of the user ID appended with the email ID. Well, the email ID with the type, as the identifier, and the email type. And down in the function here, I can then access it with the email type as as the default ID. So, for example, type label ID equals email type, right? So I'm accessing that. So in my document that, and then I would go document that get element by ID, the context of that, and that's what type is equal to. So here I'm trying to filter out to see which one is selected, and automatically select that type. Now, same with the email address, same with so with the email address, I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying to find that email address type ID, well, the email address ID, and then which is email ID added to the address, right? And then the default value is the same thing. The default value is checking for that too. And in doing so, I'm able to automatically set those properties as the form loads. Okay, so that's that's the gist of the email. Now, most of the other functions are pretty much along the same ways. The address is a little bit more complex, but that's by design. Okay, so your task then, going forward after this, is to pretty much create the email, right? And then create the phone numbers and create the addresses. Okay, create the roles, just like that. All right, and then delete and delete. Okay. So if I want to add a new row, I add it, right? And then I can remove it, just like that. Cancel out. Again, this site is online live, so you can go out and play with it, right? So if I go new row, delete here. Not sure why it's not working, but ideally it should work. But yeah, maybe I don't have the latest code out there. That's probably why. But it should work just like this. So if I go new role, save, right? Then I can go in and delete it just like that. New role, user, save, delete the first administrator role, and just like that. Cancel out of it. It should persist on this page. And then, yeah, a new email. Got a new email. Blah, blah, blah. Got a new work email is default. Save. And it should create it, right? And go delete it, and you'll delete it. Cancel. Same with the addresses. New address. Work. Home. Primary. Save. It creates a new one. See, I can just delete it after that, and it deletes it. Go cancel, and you're back to your homepage. So yeah, that's how it should work. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I know this is a pretty long lab, so I'm not expecting you guys to finish it right off the bat. I'm expecting some work to be invested in this, but this will definitely help you with your projects. And doing this is already half the battle. As long as you can get this working, the rest of the project should be pretty easy. It's just applying these patterns to the rest of the project. That's all it is. Right, that's it for this week. Again, feel free to field any questions to me. That'll definitely help you guys out. All right. See you all then.